Hey you, yeah you, I made a song. Yeah me, the guy with the professional recording studio in his bedroom. And I know what you're thinking. Why spend hours crafting a song from scratch when you could just go to an AI and prompt that and it'll be done in a few minutes?
It's not really enjoyable to make music now.
Well, maybe I actually enjoy making music, and maybe you do too, and maybe you want to learn something or two. So I thought I'd show you how my latest song was made, and maybe you'll even teach me something down in the comments. I look forward to reading those. Anyways, let's get into it. So this is the Logic project for my new song Tomorrow I'll Try. And this project only has 66 tracks, which is very few for me. I usually do a lot more. I usually overcomplicate, but with this song, I wanted to keep it simple because it kind of fit the vibe, the theme. It all started really with this one main guitar riff. And so this guitar riff plays throughout the whole track. It's kind of the essence of the song. I just started playing it on my guitar, like the vibe, it just fits. So it's only 2 chords the whole song. I know, very simple, but that's kind of what I wanted the whole song to be. And so after that, I wanted to do a little bit of strumming, add some rhythm to that. So I added these guitars. And those build up. When the chorus comes in, I wanted the rhythm to build a bit. The main guitar and the strumming. After that, I wanted a simple bass line to kind of add some groove, and I came up with this. Keep in mind, I only have one guitar. I don't own a bass. So what I do for my bass lines is I just take my guitar, play the bass line, and then I pitch it down an octave. So actually in this song, I use both. I use the original and the one that's pitched down an octave. So this is the original. In context. And then I just pitched it down to sound more like a real bass. It sounds like a bass. I mean, of course it would be better to have a real bass, but who really needs that when you got this thick bad boy? Oh yeah. And there's a guitar preset called 60s Combo that I just like playing bass on. I removed the low cut and I add some compression, a little bit of, I love this distortion on bass, fattens it up, and it just sounds solid, you know? And I wanted it to sound playful. I added these kind of like little bells to have like a childish feel to it. And that kind of complements the main melody from the guitars. So I had this basically. I had this kind of groove going. I had this guitar line that I liked, and I needed vocals. I needed some idea. I needed a concept. The first thing that I came up with were these lyrics.
Too anxious to go outside. The sunlight burns my eyes. Haven't seen my friends in a while. Well, maybe tomorrow I'll try. Tomorrow I'll try. I'll go outside. I'll open my eyes.
So yeah, it was a hot day. I didn't feel like going out. I was feeling a little anxious. That's just the first things that came out of my mouth when I was recording. I don't have the original vocals, I think, but I just have the comp that I did. I just tuned it a little bit. I have way too many plugins on my vocals. I don't know why. That's my vocal chain. I just like it like that. Should probably keep it a little bit more simple, but that's just what sounds good with this mic, with my voice. I mean, that everybody has to do, themselves, right? One chain is not going to work for everyone. I use this Shure SM57 to record all my vocals. I like how it doesn't take up too much of the room sound. Since I'm recording my bedroom, I'm not really paying too much attention when I'm recording. So they're better mics, they're more expensive mics, but this is what I could afford and this is what works for me.
The sunlight burns my haven't seen my friends.
So yeah, that's how it sounds. I like the 76 with the UAD28. This you can get for free, by the way. That's what I went with. Added some room reverb, a little bit of tape delay. And so at the beginning, it's just the one vocal, but then I doubled it to make it sound a little bit wider.
Tomorrow I'll try. I'll go outside.
And so I had that, and then I was like, I need to go somewhere, right? Something has to happen, right? I can't just be fully laid back the whole time. And I was like, I need some drums, and I wanted simple drum pattern, simple drum sound. I wanted something that felt like those, not too old, but like drum machine sound, right? So I got drum machine kits. I started with like a simple kick snare pattern. Added some hi-hats. And those are the drums. Super simple. And then I have these little egg shakers here. I really love. They're just fun to, play around with. It always adds nice texture. So I just recorded left, right to give a little bit of wideness to the drums. Super simple. Nothing on them except an EQ. And yeah, even the snare, like the snare has nothing on it. The kick, just a little bit of distortion, some EQ to give it a little bit of, and that was it. I just wanted it to be super simple, and that's the drums. There's a little bit of processing on the bus. I just compressed everything together. That's without. Yeah, it just sounds a little bit more glued, and I like that vintage like saturation. I wanted to glue it all together, so I just added a little bit of saturation, and I got my drum sound. And so that with the bass line that's now an octave lower, you kind of have a groove going. And then still the same guitar riff, just strumming chords are a little bit more active now. But you gotta groove, you don't need too much. Oh, I did want a little bit of kind of floaty texture, so I took a whirly sound. And I just threw some reverb, this like granular delay effect thing. And that's it. It just sounds like you're being transported to another planet, another dimension. So all the instruments together sound like this. Ooh, I forgot this guy apparently. What's this? Just a nice little Serum string pad. Yeah, I like that. It's beautiful. I love that. You can barely hear it, but when I'm producing, I try to think of layers as occupying different frequency ranges. So we started out with certain ranges being occupied. So you have like the middle ranges being occupied by the main like guitar riff. And as the track builds, you need to fill out those frequencies. So I needed some highs. It was lacking highs, so I must have added that. So that's all the instruments. And yeah, I mean, it's quite simple. There's not that much going on. It's like basically a guitar doing the bass, the main guitar riff, and some like strumming chords. A whirly doing a weird thing, a sparkly synth, the simplest drum pattern you can imagine. But it's got a vibe, it's got a groove. And so the motion is changing here, right? It's going from this like simple kind of laid back thing to this more upbeat. And I was like, where is the song going? What's the story here? Well, maybe if tomorrow I'm going to try, what am I going to try doing tomorrow? So I kind of came up with this was later on in the process, but because I had this part, but I didn't have the lyrics. So I was like, I'm just going to come up with what I'm going to try tomorrow.
I'll put down my phone, I'll go for a walk. I'll put on nice clothes and matching socks. Tomorrow will be the day that I finally get away.
I don't know about you guys, but my phone makes me anxious. So I was just like, what if I just get outside, put down my phone, touch some grass. That's kind of like the idea here. Just get out and do stuff.
I'll put down my phone, I'll go for a walk. I'll put on nice clothes and matching socks. Tomorrow will be the day that I finally get away. I'll go.
And really the only thing that comes in the second part is just these shakers, right? The rest kind of stays the same throughout that whole. I don't even know if it's a chorus or a verse. This one I didn't really think too much about the structure of the song. I was just like, what? How does it vibe? How does it sound good? Let's keep it simple. Let's just keep going. It ends with this line.
I'll be out of my way.
So it ends with the I'll be out of my way. And I was like, okay, I need to get from this kind of upbeat part to more like a chill part from the beginning, but not keep it too chill. But I need like this transition. So I came up with this like melody on the Mellotron. I just love Mellotrons. If I can put a Mellotron in a song, I'll put a Mellotron in a song. Even if it doesn't fit, I'll still put it in there. Super low in the mix just so I know it's there, because it's one of those instruments that brings me back. Brings me to a time before my time that's somehow better, even though it probably wasn't. But I just love the sound of that instrument. And I wanted this kind of nostalgic feel, like kind of like an old Disney movie or a Studio Ghibli movie, right? So I added the Mellotron. I added this kind of old school chord sampler thing. It just brings you back, right? And then I had a little string for extra vibes, you know, just a sustain note. By the way, this plugin is awesome for strings and stuff. Highly recommend, and it's free. That's kind of the core of the vibe. And I was like, okay, this Mellotron flute sounds cool, right? It's got the Mellotron vibe, but it still sounds like it's being played on by MIDI, or, you know, it doesn't sound like a human is playing it. And I was like, I want to keep as many humans playing instruments vibe as possible, right? So I got my good friend who actually knows how to play flute professionally to come over and just record my flute part and add like little stuff that I can't do with MIDI. So that's what she recorded right here. Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, that it's like that transition going into heaven or something. I just love that. Yeah, that I tried to do with the MIDI, just it doesn't sound good, but when she does it, oh yeah. So yeah, she played that. This is without any plugins. It sounds just as good, maybe better. Maybe it doesn't need the plugins. I just compressed it a tiny bit, but mostly for the saturation. I use the compressor. Keep in mind, this is my first time mixing any flute, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I just did what sounded good. EQ'd out a little harshness and some lows that didn't need to be there. Added a massive delay. And a massive reverb. And I also automated a lot of stuff for this because I wanted the like delay to come in when she does that little arpeggio. It just sounds so good. And it just brought this whole part alive, right? It went from, this is without the flute. Oh yeah, also I added some vinyl sound, just the extra bit of milking that nostalgia, right? It sounds fine, but it just doesn't sound human. Now it sounds human. And I bring more things in from the beginning. And yeah, I just needed the vocals for that part. So I just kind of went more crazy with the harmonies, but still very simple.
I'll be out of my way.
A little bit of backing vocals.
I'll be out of my way. How I pray that this feeling will stay. That this feeling will stay. I'll be out of.
And then, so this we're back to like the Tomorrow I'll Try part, but I went a little bit more crazy with the production in this part. Still keeping it simple, but first of all, I showed this song to my girlfriend and she was like, it needs some more sparkles. So I added some sparkles for her. I added some chimes. I added just me playing the tambourine. Super simple, but it adds a little boing. It was never enough sparkles, so I just kept adding sparkly stuff. I kind of played around with a reversed whirly. When you can't find the right sound, just take a sound, reverse it. Maybe that's all you need. So that's with the... Some more sparkles. Yeah. DX7. Oh yeah. And some little synths. So like we have a Juno here. And whatever this is. Oh. Yeah, it's like a vocal synth thing I downloaded and found that I still had. I forgot to ever use it and I liked it, so I put it in. So this is like the sparkle stuff. And then at the very end, I wanted the vocals to be a little bit more wilder, a little just, because it is a very repetitive song. So I was always trying to find ways to add changes without making it sound like too much is changing. So I just decided to double the vocals with some harmonies.
Tomorrow I'll try. Tomorrow I'll try.
There's so much noise in this mic, but you can't hear it in the mix.
I'll go outside.
And so with everything, it sounds like this.
Tomorrow I'll try. Tomorrow I'll try. I'll go outside.
So yeah, that's basically all the elements in the song. It's not that much stuff going on, just mainly a guitar riff that just goes throughout, simple bass line, the simplest drum pattern you can think of, and some sparkles. You just need some sparkles, right? And there's like this string that kind of comes in and this little thing that I bounce, but I just wanted a little bit of to bring you into the song. And that plays pretty much throughout the beginning, just to add texture. I like doing that. I like having like a drone. I think who I picked this up from was Fred Again. Fred Again always has like a drone going on in his songs, and I know he makes electronic music. It's crazy how you can like just take stuff from completely different genres and add it to another genre and it still works, you know, because good music production is good music production, right? I did a tiny bit of stretching here and there, but here I didn't. If you like count with a beat, this is quite off tempo. It's pretty loose, but I didn't want to mess with that too much. I wanted it to sound loose. I kind of tightened it up a little bit during the chorus just so everything would gel better together, like groove-wise. But yeah, I wanted to keep everything sounding as natural as possible. I didn't spend too much time on the mix. Everything is pretty simple, not too much. I barely did anything to anything. I just EQ'd a bit. Vocals, my voice can annoy me sometimes, so I can spend a little bit too much time mixing those, but yeah, that's basically the song. And on the master, okay, so there's a bit of compression, a bit of multiband, a bit of saturation. tiny bit of EQ and 2 limiters. But yeah, I didn't want to master it too loudly, I think. Have a little bit of sidechain going on. So I use a MIDI track to sidechain kick and bass, or pretty much anything I want to sidechain, but here it's probably just the kick. If you want to know how I set that up, you can let me know in the comments. I'll do a tutorial. I copied this mostly from Disclosure because they have a cool setup for their sidechain. So yeah, there's basically the MIDI that's sidechaining just the low end of the bass to keep those two from clashing too much. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that makes up the song, and I hope you enjoy it. It's out now on every streaming platform, so if you want to listen to the whole thing, please do so. See you next time. Peace.